Episode 6 of Road to Sheffield. So today, squat day. Yesterday, if you watched my video, I was talking about I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to squat today because I've had a hamstring injury. It affected a deadlift session earlier this week that was terrible because of that. And so I wasn't sure. So I started, I got in the gym, started warming up, and I felt good on my first couple warm-ups, and then I started getting heavier. I was a little nervous. I wasn't sure, if I went down, and it didn't feel good, I didn't hurt anything, I wasn't sure how it was going to feel, but it ended up being just fine. And I got my squat session in today. I'm going to go ahead and pop in the clip of my squat session. So, yeah, if you watch the whole clip, you can see I was pretty excited with that. That was a good squat session. I was really happy, and honestly, it was really unexpected. I expected it to be a bad session, especially with the deadlift session that I had earlier this week, and my hamstring was just plaguing me during that. It felt terrible. I did some back down squats after, which were terrible because my hamstring was hurting, and I had to go lighter, and I had to be really careful. So being able to put up a set like that today, which was shocking to me, it was super exciting to me. I put it up, flicked the belt, I was feeling great. And so it's a thing in powerlifting. It's like these crazy ups and downs, right? The lows, like my deadlift session, if you watch that video, was really low. I was like super zapped of energy, super mad, super upset for like the whole day. I took the day off because I was just pissed off because my deadlift session went so poorly. But then the ups of powerlifting, these squat sessions, man, it is so exciting. I'm still excited even right now just talking about my squat session that I had earlier this morning, what is it? It's 1 right now, so 4 hours ago. It's a big deal, man. Powerlifting is an awesome, exciting sport when you have those ups, and it's devastating when you have the downs. So it's important as a powerlifter, you gotta have mental fortitude, right? You gotta when those downs happen, you gotta stick with what you're doing, and you gotta say, hey, I know what I'm doing. I know it's gonna work. I trust my coach, or yourself if you self-coach, which I personally do. And you just gotta stick with it. And usually it doesn't end up this way to where you have a terrible session, then 2 days later you have a great session. But sometimes that happens, and it just comes out of the woodwork. This sport is awesome in that way. So I'm very excited. Great session today. Yeah, and it's also exciting, or something to think about on these days. It's like the ups are great, and it's awesome to be excited about your session. right? You should be excited because you did a good job, right? But it's also important to keep yourself grounded, let's say, right? Of like this type of session where you come to the gym, you expect to do kind of poorly or just whatever, you expect to not feel great, and you end up having a great session is not the norm, right? If you get yourself into this trap of thinking that these sessions should be normal sessions for you, it's going to destroy your mental as a powerlifter, which honestly is like half the battle. Because in order to powerlift and be really successful at it, you have to do it for long periods of time, right? It has to be like 5, 10, 15 years that you've been powerlifting if you want to be your best powerlifter. So if you let, one bad session go to your mind, or you expect a really great session and you have a pretty good session, but it wasn't what you expected, and you let that really hurt you, that's going to be bad as a powerlifter. It's going to eventually seep into your mind, and it's going to make you, not motivated, not happy to be a powerlifter, which is ultimately what we're here to do. I mean, at the end of the day, this sport is a hobby. It's something that you should enjoy, right? It's not something that you should be like dreading every day. It's not something that, should necessarily determine like your mood or how validated you feel about yourself, right? This is something that you should do, you should have fun with it, you should enjoy it. Even in the days that are bad, it's like, you shouldn't let those get to you, because at the end of the day, it's a hobby that we choose to do, right? You can go to the gym, everyone should go to the gym, right? And everyone should do something, but powerlifting specifically, you don't have to do that. You don't have to train for strength, right? You can just go in the gym and lift for health, and that's it, right? You don't have to go in the gym and push a bunch of weights and be super serious about all your stuff. Like, this powerlifting hobby is a blessing at the end of the day, and it's like, you should always be excited about it, but the ups and downs, sometimes they get to you, right? Sometimes they come to your mind and they get to you, and they shouldn't, right? I think it's important as a powerlifter to try to let those things not influence your mental, right? Try to be as realistic and pragmatic about things as you can, because ultimately there's always going to be ups, there's always going to be downs, and most of your time is spent just kind of in the middle, right? Just kind of not super exciting, not super terrible, right? But you should learn to enjoy that time. And if you don't, like, powerlifting, it's in the sport itself, might not be something that you should do, because ultimately, even if you really enjoy the ups and you really enjoy the meets, right? Like 80% of the time that you're training for powerlifting is that. It's just normal, no ups, no downs. Just go in, get the work done. And the best powerlifters are the people who do that stuff and they enjoy it, right? That's the stuff that they really enjoy. You see them in the gym, they're having a great time because they're getting their work done and they love that part, right? Ultimately, to be good at powerlifting, you need to love the grindy, going in the gym, doing hypertrophy, doing stuff that maybe it's not your favorite, right? Like, I have everyone has favorites in the gym, favorite lifts, favorite accessories, whatever. Going in and not doing your favorite stuff, but getting it done and still being able to enjoy yourself is something really important if you want to be successful as a long-term powerlifter, which is really the only time period to look at as a powerlifter, because in the short term, you're not really gonna get anything, right? You're not gonna get that much stronger. If you want to be a good powerlifter, you have to look at the long term, because getting strength just takes so long. So yeah, man, that's my rant for today. Extremely excited, very, very happy with today's session, man. So tomorrow I'll have a leg day. It'll be a week of doing YouTube videos back to my leg day, and excited to show that off in the new lighting and whatever. I think my legs are gonna look pretty different than they did in the first video because of the new setup I have. I figured some stuff out with the camera. I'm getting a little bit better at this YouTube thing, so yeah, I'll see you tomorrow to show off my legs and talk about something else. Yeah, another video in the books, ladies and gentlemen.